failure is something that comes with life. Failure is something that is inevitable, and getting used to pursuing any dream, any desire does come with setback. Anything worth having will require trials and tribulation. It's going to require ups and downs, ins and outs, and it's going to require moments of doubt, a lot of doubt. But if you truly want what it is you're setting your heart out on, it's going to be worth it in the end. And this is why you have to be very appreciative of men and women who conduct sales, especially when they're first starting out and they're trying to get their feet wet, trying to get the right verbiage, trying to connect with strangers and to convince them that the product that you have is something that can be beneficial to them. Just like me and my Gorilla Mind philosophy is that we need to become untamed because we have all become tame dogs in this day and time. And as a result of us becoming tame dogs, we are all now being pulled through and fro by men and women who are using us for their own benefit and disregarding us as individuals. And I'm not interested in being disregarded by anybody. So teaching your kids that when they're pursuing anything in life or they have a desire for anything in life, that they have to allow themselves room to fail, because you fail. Very few people out the gate has success. And this is why it's so dangerous for child actors, because they have success as children and their brains and minds aren't fully developed. And they're surrounded by adults who are waiting on them hand and foot, kissing their asses because they want something that these young kids are doing. They want what they want from them. So in order to extract that, they will lavish them with gifts and praises, whether they're doing wrong or right. You know what I'm saying? So for these kids, they don't know a downside. They don't truly know a struggle because they're still being taken care of by mom and dad until eventually they can take care of mom and dad. And if there's not a foundation of laid down properly of gratitude, hard work, and appreciation for the position that you find yourself in, many of these kids have spiraled and will spiral. So this brings me back to a time when I used to do acting, and I would drive from Tampa, Florida, and head on down to Louisiana, and I would audition for many a feature film, many a television shows. Some of them got picked up, and some of them never left the production floor. And I would find myself going out and auditioning my ass off. And after the audition, talking with the director or the producers or whoever, casting directors, and they were like, I love what you did, so on and so forth. And by the time as I get on the road, heading back to Florida, sometimes before I hit Mississippi, I get a call from my agent, and my agent will be like, well, they're gonna put you on hold because, they gotta work some things out, so on and so forth, right? And I'm like, all right, cool. I feel good about it. My spirits are high. I'm like, did everything right? And not necessarily that I did everything right, it's just that I left an impression. Now I'm registering this impression that I did well. I did good. So I'm driving. I can't wait to get home. Can't wait to tell my wife. Can't wait. You know what I mean? Can't wait to brag to my boys about the experience. It's whole 9 yards. And it'll be within about an hour or two from getting to Mississippi and then getting into Florida. Get a phone call again. Production decided to go another way. Man, that sucks. You know what I'm saying? That shit sucks. So you'd be like, all right, cool. The first time, be like, all right, cool. Then the third time, you go back out there, you're killing it again because you already got momentum from the last one because you can do it now. And then bang. And they talking you up. Yeah, man, you hanging out with them. And then like, yeah, you get back on the road, home, just waiting on the agent confirmation. You get that call. They decided to go in the next direction. And it's like, what the fuck, dude? This shit is wild. This is wild. You know what I mean? And then it'll be like, okay, all right, let's go again. So you go back out there, you do your thing, go in the room, you do the same thing again. And eventually I realized something. Every role that I was reading for at that time, I was being considered for the role because of my height and complexion to Mike Epps. Because every time I would be sitting down watching a movie, I would hear the dialogue that I was reading for, but it was just under a new show name or movie title. And it would be like, shit. So it started to dawn on me that when I come out here, I'm coming out here to possibly be a placeholder just in case these guys can't get Mike Epps. Of course, it was sort of flattering, but it was also frustrating as shit because it was like, dude, what the fuck? What? Why are you doing this to me? You know what I'm saying? So eventually, going through the ups and downs of driving, being excited to going in, reading, feeling great about the audition, and to only be disappointed when an hour or two later to find out that either they're going another way. And it was like, damn, this shit is whack. I want to throw this towel in. Like, why the hell am I going on the road? Like, why am I going into these auditions if you're only going to pick Mike Epps? Why? But from a business standpoint, you got to understand that. Why not go with Mike Epps? Mike Epps is Heart of Friday and everything else that he's done since then. So he has more of a following. Nobody knows me from a can of wet paint. So the business money is go with the guy who can bring more eyes to the project. So I accepted that. And through me accepting that, when I took some time off and I had a kid, I had my first kid, and I went back out on the road. There was something different about me, but I just didn't know it at that time, besides being a father for the first time. But there was a sense of confidence of I can act. I have the ability to perform. I just need to go in not expecting to win. That if I held on to that, you know what, I'm just going in to do my thing. Nothing's going to come of it. The only thing that's probably going to come of it is that they'll go in the next direction. So I took the burden of wanting to win off of the table, and I replaced it with I just want to get inside and have some fun. And I went in, and as a result of it, I booked my first feature, which allowed me to get my side card. And getting my side card was like, whew, it was like, because that was the actual ultimate goal at that time, believe it or not, especially coming out of the theater class that I was in. That was what you were shooting for. You were shooting to get your side card, be a part of the Screen Actors Guild Union, and got it. And it was like, okay, now, cool. I'm a part of the Cool Kids Club, so I can go for more stuff and I can actually get paid what I'm worth and not just get something thrown at me, And the thing that I realized also is that when I went out and I stopped caring about the end result and started enjoying the journey of the ups and downs, it became liberating. And I had no one to pick me up when I fell because my wife wouldn't truly understand, even though she would try to be an air for me. But it was like she just when you're in it, when you're not in it, it's sort of hard to put those words together that'll make sense. And the person like, I get it, I see what you're saying, So I'm saying all this to say that the losses that I took made me better because it made me reevaluate if this is truly something I want to do. Not only it made me evaluate if this is truly something I wanted to do, but it also made me stronger and made me to build resilience against the disappointment, to appreciate the journey. And when the success came, it made me not take it for granted. Because of course the ego is always involved because you think you're better than you are, but you're not as good as you think you can be. I mean, you are. You know what I mean? You think you're as good as you are, but you're not as good as you should be or could be. So I took that and I ran with it. Of course, I got older, interests changed, and that's cool. But I do realize that as I watch my kids grow up and I watch the kids that are surrounded by my kids, I realize that as parents, we're doing our kids a disservice because every time our kids want something, we're there without allowing any form of creativity in them to figure out how they're going to get what it is they say they want. We're facilitating everything. We are the men and women who are ushering them into dependency. And the reason why we're ushering them into dependency is because we don't want them to suffer. And I don't want my kids to suffer, but I also don't want my kids to be dependent on anyone for their success or dependent on anyone for their mental strength, for their mental callousness. I want them to learn that, hey, when you want something bad enough, you have to literally go with the ease and flows, the ups, the downs, the ins and outs of that thing. And you have to find ways of picking yourself back up without losing yourself in the pursuit of that ultimate goal. Because life rewards those who are diligent in their duty. I can attest to that. It is not always perfect, and it will never always be perfect. But what it will be is it's going to be an opportunity for you to grow from it, to take jewels from, and use those jewels, those wisdoms to pass on, and also to use as a part of your daily mantra of, I can do anything that I can conceive of. that I can conceive. I just know that I have to take the first step. And if I fail, I have to regroup and assess what it is I've done wrong and how I can do it better to get over the hump. So losing is not a bad thing. Losing actually has more value, in my personal opinion, than actually winning. So when you do actually win, you're more prepared for the win. You're more appreciative of the wins, than you are of the losses. Because you look at the losses as opportunities to learn. You look at the losses as, hey, here's what I can do to make sure the next time the mistakes I made here aren't made here again. So let's make new mistakes so we can get to the next level. Because I believe in the creative field, in business and in life, it is really just about stacking up enough losses to adjust for the wins. It's about stacking up enough losses, reflecting upon them, and using those losses to help you to win, to help you to position yourself to being the best version of yourself. And this is why I strongly believe that we have to establish a real foundation of philosophy that guides us within our day-to-day life. Not watching what others have and thinking why they have it and I don't have it. No, I like the fact that they have it. Just proves that I too can also achieve it. Now I just have to figure out what's my work going to be and how much intention behind my work I'm willing to put in. And this is what it's all about. It's all about being gorilla minded. You're not sitting around waiting on anybody to figure your life out for you. You're assessing what's going to make you happy, and not only what's going to make you happy, but how you can go about truly cultivating your own personal happiness in your pursuit of whatever it is your heart's desire. Whether it's being a great father, being a great husband, being a great leader in the community, being a great human being. All of these things are going to require action. And in a lot of these cases, sometimes you're going to hit stumbling blocks that's going to make you question, do I truly want this? And if I truly want this, how can I overcome this? So parents, do yourself a favor and allow your kids to have a sense of independence in their life. As young as they are, you have to give it to them. You cannot constantly hover over them and expect your kids to operate in this life successfully, because any and everything they do will be hinged on the fact that they only can move when you give approval, or they only can move when other adults give the approval. And that is not a way to raise healthy, successful young men and women. And that is not a way for you, if you live this way, to be truly healthy and successful as a human being. So losses are not a bad thing. There's a lot of wisdom in losses. So you take them as they come and you use them to make you better. You identify the emotion when you're going through your ups and downs and you label it. I feel disappointed on this one. I feel frustrated on this one. Man, I'm angry on this one. So on and so forth. And once you establish how those moments make you feel, you move on. You don't ruminate on the loss. You don't ruminate on it. You learn from it and you apply the lessons to the pursuit of victory. So when you do win, nobody can tell you nothing about how you earned your success. Anyway, if you like this content, please consider subscribing to help me to grow the channel. And like I always say, stay gorilla minded. Peace.